welcome back to the final episode of me making a puzzle speedrunning game in Core. If you have missed the previous episode, links to them are down below. Now before we begin, this video is sponsored by Core, but more about that later. Oh, and also, if you were to subscribe, I would be very happy. Now let's begin. I started by loading up a new project and having to change some puzzles. First of all, I created a new moving platform system. For those who haven't seen the previous one, this was it. Basically, the player could go up to these stairs, approach the platform, and once on it, press a button. This would result in the platform moving to the other side. Now this was pretty cool and it fit in quite well with the level. The only issue was that if the player wanted to play the game again, what would happen is they would reach the platform and realize that it's on the other side, as it was already used. Essentially meaning that this game was not replayable. Now I could have made it reset after the game was played through, but I had some issues doing so. This was predominantly because I'm not great at Lua, I'm kind of a noob at it. So instead I made an automatic platform that would move side to side. I basically grabbed the mechanic from the previous platform and removed the interaction part. I also made it so once the platform reached the end, it would turn around. This was quite simply solved with an if statement. So now the platform is automatic. Here is what it looks like at this section. Now because I really love this platform, I decided to implement it into other parts of the map. You may remember that we had this portal lava pit area. Now this area just seemed like a waste of space, as there was nothing really going on in here. So instead, I placed two platforms here that will move side to side. I also increased the height of the portal. This means the player has to time their jumps on the platforms to reach the portal itself, making it more difficult than before. Oh, I forgot to mention, I slapped on some nice materials to the platforms to make them look better. Next up, I needed to alter the door puzzle. So previously the game features a door that would open if the right button was pressed. This worked with no issues, but once again, if the door was open, it would be open forever, meaning if the player wished to play the game again, they would have an advantage and most likely a faster time because of that. This is because they wouldn't have to find the button anymore because the door was open in the first place. So to solve this issue, I made a new function called reset door. This function would basically return the door to its original closed position. And all I needed to do was call this function upon going through the finish door at the end. Now once the player leaves the game and enters it again, the door will be shut. These were the only mechanical changes that I needed to do, as the rest of the mechanics were finished in the previous episode. But before we continue, this video is sponsored by Core. Core is a free game engine platform that lets you build, publish and play your games. You can start creating games straight away using thousands of free high quality assets that Core provides, such as art, music, visual effects and more. You can start making games with no programming knowledge required, as Core does all the logic for you. But if you wish to experiment with your game or have more control, you can make your own game logic and scripts in Lua. So if this sounds like something that you would want to get into, then check out Core with the link down below and start making your games today for free. Now let's continue. It was now time to make this look nice and bring the game together, essentially add polish. I began by trying to add more details and props to the already created sections. This basically just filled up the scene and made it look more like an actual lab rather than just a box. I ended up creating these roofed areas which just made the place seem less empty and gave it this effect that the place is collapsing. I used a variety of assets that Core provides and tried to go for this sci-fi lab look as mentioned before. I also got rid of those ugly white walls from the previous episodes. Something that I also wanted to do was place these numbers which will tell the player what section they are in. That way the player will now know how far they are into the game and also make it look more like a lab. I'm not sure how those numbers do that, but they kind of do. I decided to browse throughout the Core assets to see what would fit in with the aesthetic, and I ended up finding these cool particle effects that would just bring the entire game together. Some of these particles were like this rubble that falls down, so I ended up using it as a way to illustrate that this place is basically falling apart. I placed some rocks on top of the roofs and made it seem like the place is collapsing. I also added some smoke and other visual effects which definitely made it look so much better. Continuing on, I also placed various other effects like electricity sparks, fires, embers, etc. All these visual effects are great and they're completely free, which is great because that means I don't have to make them myself. I kept basically repeating the process of placing more items and effects. I also found a bunch of cool decals that just added this small little details to the level itself. Decals are basically things that will warp to the environment around them and add cool effects to those items, like cracks or gunshot holes. So here is a little time lapse of me adding all of that polish into the game. After finishing the map, all that was left to do was publish the game, so I did. The publishing was super simple, it was literally just a click of a button, I made a description, a title, and then used the core inbuilt screenshot feature to make screenshots of the game. Now you can find this game with the link down below and tell me what time you managed to complete the game in. Also, let me know if there was any bugs. I didn't encounter any myself, but there probably will be some. So that is it for this video. I want to thank you guys for watching, and if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. To not miss out on any of my videos, please go and subscribe, and check out Core with the link down below. Thank you to my patrons Atomic Punk, TARDIS IT Guy and Smoking Vita, you guys are amazing. Also, a quick little update, I should have another video out this Saturday, and then another devlog probably around next week, but we'll see about that. Anyway guys, I'll see you guys later. Bye!